Hi everyone, and welcome back to another segment of Zara Unfiltered. I'm Zara Farami. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Please subscribe, please like and share the video because this is what I like to call a safe space. This is an area, a project, a platform that I created where we can talk and discuss about issues that we may not normally like to discuss with others on a normal day, or unfortunately in some cases we're too embarrassed to talk about it. So this is that safe space. Welcome. Before I get into today's topic, I just wanted to apologize for such a delay between the videos. I find myself like every time I prepare for a topic, because I have different ideas that I would like to talk about, different topics that I would like to cover on this platform. Every time I get ready to do so, something will happen in real life, and I'm just like, yeah, maybe I should talk about this instead. So that's what happened. Again, I do apologize, and without further ado, let's just get right into today's video. About sometime last week, I was talking with someone and I was opening up about my journey with counseling and how it's helped me through some of the things I've been struggling with. And the person said to me flat out, like, they didn't mince the words, they're like, I don't like that you're going to counseling. How much longer do you have to do this? Do you really need it? And I was like, at first, my first inclination was to kind of second guess counseling, but like afterwards, I was just like, wait. I snapped out of it, and I realized like I have gained so much as a result of counseling. I know the added benefit, the improvement that I've seen in my everyday life because of counseling, and I was wondering like, why is this person looking down? Like at first, I was thinking, are they looking down on me because I'm going to counseling? But I was thinking, are they having such a hostile attitude towards counseling and therapy like that? And I realized past generations, because like I'm a millennial and that's the only generation I feel like I can really talk about strongly, but I realized that past generations and certain cultures in some instances, there's a stigma associated to therapy. There's a stigma associated with counseling and reaching for help. And I'm just here to say there should not be a stigma. Your mental health is important. I've been going on this speech of protecting your peace, protecting your peace. Your mental state, how you are as a person, as an individual, is beyond important. How you are mentally will affect how you react to people around you, how you will react to certain situations around you. The state of your mind plays such a vital role in the way your life will turn out. And like, we live in a world, right, where because of technology and all these advancements, you would think life is easier. Yes, in certain regards, life is easier because we can get things done faster than previous generations. However, with all the advancements, all the improvements of life, there are a whole new set of problems that previous generations before us didn't have to deal with. And our generation, well, I'm speaking mainly for my generation, millennials, we have our own set of problems that other generations before us didn't have. And unfortunately, it's playing a major role in our mental health. I was doing research about mental health and I read that since 2013, so 7 years ago, there has been a 47% increase in major depression among millennials. 47% in 7 years. That is major. That's about a little over 6% every year. And I was just thinking, what in the world could be like the reason? What is the cause behind such a rapid growth in depression? And millennials, when you're talking about millennials, like this is early 30s to like early 20s. So you're thinking like life has barely begun in some cases. Why is there major depression? And that's one thing I realized, like depression is also like on a spectrum. So for major depression, why is there such an increase? And I was doing research on topics and I'm thinking, okay, yeah, as I was researching, it was making more sense. like I said, there are certain issues that this generation has to deal with that other generations did not have to deal with. And one generation is concerning education and how you're going to pay for it. Like the student debt. The student debt in this country is in the trillions at this point. And I'm like, that's so true when I was researching, because I realized other generations. I remember I was reading an article with my brother, and this is years ago. When I say years ago, like well over 50 years ago, someone could go to Harvard University, pay for their tuition with a summer job. Like Harvard University, they could pay for it with a summer job. That is definitely not the case now. People have to go and take loans upon loans. And some of these loans, they're stuck for like well over 30 years. Now, going to sleep every night knowing you owe about $120,000, that is surely to make a person anxious. That is sure way for them to be depressed. And it's like now we have a job market where before, if you left school, you could find a job like that. That is not the case for millennials anymore. And that piled on with so many other issues is leading to anxiety, is leading to depression. Like I know a lot of people that want to advance their lives in certain ways, but because of that debt, it turns them off. It turns them away from doing it. And then because they don't have the education required, they can't get certain jobs. And so just thinking about that, that can create like anxiety upon everybody has plans for themselves. Everyone has an idea of how they expect their life to go. And as we all know, life does not go as planned. There's a saying that says, man plans and God laughs. Life rarely ever goes as planned. And in many cases, many people don't have the tools and are not equipped to handle life when it doesn't go as planned. And that's one thing I know I'm guilty of. Like when things do not go how I planned, like how I planned it to go, I don't want to say I shut down, but I would literally put my life at a huge pause and halt and overanalyze everything to the point where it's like I'm not moving forward. And that's one thing I'm thankful about counseling about. It's given me the tools in order to make sure that that doesn't happen as a result. But unfortunately, when people feel too embarrassed to reach out for help, too embarrassed to go to counseling or therapy, they don't have the tools needed to help them cope when life doesn't go as planned. When I was doing research, I found a quote. It was like a statement on this website, and I'll put the link down below for the article talking about millennials and why depression and anxiety is becoming more and more prevalent within this generation. The quote says, this generation, millennials, is known to set lofty goals with unrealistic expectations, and when these goals are not reached, a sense of failure seeps in, resulting in low self-esteem and anxiety. This, I feel, can go back to the first video that I made, and I made reference to how social media is not always helping situations. When you see everyone else around you is winning, and you feel they're doing it in a fast way, the natural inclination, the natural tendency is to automatically compare yourself and figure out, how come my life is not moving the way theirs is? How come my life is not as fast? How come things aren't moving as fast for me as it is for them? And that is causing a lot of problems for this generation today. When you see everyone else around you succeeding, and in most cases, you don't even know the truth, the real truth behind their success, or you don't really know or see the full picture behind everything because everyone's only bragging about their successes. When you do that, you are, like the quote says, you tend to set unrealistic expectations for yourselves. I saw a video and it was like many millennials, they are right out of college, they expect to have that management job, they expect to be making six figures and things like that. For some people it does work out, but unfortunately that's not everybody's stories. And I was guilty of this. Like, we set these unrealistic and in some cases unattainable goals for ourselves, And then when it doesn't happen, it's like our whole world just shatters and we don't know what to do. And that's when the depression, that's when the anxiety creeps in. So one thing I could advise people is stop comparing yourself to other people. Everybody's journey is different. Everybody's race is different. Run your race to be best of your ability. Just because it happened for someone in 6 months does not mean it will happen to you or for you in 6 months. Work the best way you know how. Be diligent in everything that you do and focus. Run your race. Like, you know, those races between all the horses and stuff, like the Kentucky Derby and everything. The horses have those things protecting their eyes. So they have, like, their goal is in sight. They're not looking or focusing on everyone else around them. I think one thing that we're doing is we're looking at everyone else and how they're running their race, and we're adjusting our race to fit suit. Don't do that. Run your race the best way you know how. Focus. And that's one thing I love about counseling and I love about therapy. It gives you tools on how you can run your race to the best of your ability. Everyone has different strengths. Everyone has different weaknesses. I feel therapy and counseling helps you maximize your strengths and get your weaknesses under control. At least that's what I know from speaking from experience. That's what it's done for me. Like I said before, certain cultures even, it's frowned upon or it's not even mentioned. Like the idea of mental health is not one that's really talked about. And I know that firsthand because my mom, she's Nigerian, and I know that's not something that people are quick to share or people are quick to open about their mental state. And I know there's this one phrase, like when I was maybe years ago, I would like read on blogs and read online and stuff. And anytime they talked about like marriages or talked about anything pertaining to mental health, one phrase that was used a lot, and I hate this phrase. I know hate is a strong word, but I do not like this phrase. They always say, suffered in silence. Oh, they suffered in silence. She suffered in silence. Our mothers, they suffered in silence. And I'm here to tell you that is not healthy. We do not condone, we do not support suffering in any form. Do not suffer in silence. You need to see yourself as a being that is worth investing in. You are worth it. Do not suffer in silence. Speak up. We invest so much. Like I was telling my parents just now at my job, I was talking to someone. This person is investing $15,000 in their teeth. $15,000 to fix their bottom teeth. Not even the top, just the bottom. $15,000. That is a car. If someone can invest that in their mouth, and we invest so much on our faces and products, makeup, hair, everything. If we can invest that much on our outer exterior, your mind is worth it. Your mind is worth so much more. You can invest time. Just find time. Take time out. Find somebody that you trust, because not everyone can afford therapy. Like, that's one thing I do applaud this generation for. As I was reading, it said the millennials, they're more inclined to go to therapy or seek counseling and seek help compared to other generations. Find time. Find someone you trust. If it's a paid professional or even if it's a friend or a family member, talk. Be open. Don't keep everything bottled up. Don't suffer in silence. Invest in yourself. See yourself as someone that deserves the best. Someone that deserves to be invested in. Like I said, $15,000 in the mouth. The mind is worth so much more. Your peace is worth so much more at the end of the day.